Hi, I'm Haley. Sorry, my voice is gone from this past week. So I'm making this vlog Q&A video answering question. Sorry, please bear with me. To answer some of the questions that I got on Instagram. I wanted to make a sort of condensed video, and it ended up being that I got asked so many questions that I'm going to make about 4 videos. So I'm making just one video for BBG questions, one video for general workout questions not regarding BBG and stuff like that, one video for my diet, and then one personal video slash miscellaneous that I couldn't really fit into other places. So I don't really know how this works. This is my first YouTube video for fitness. I do have some for singing because I thought I was going to be famous for singing and become a super celeb, and that did not happen. So this is my first regular video or vlog. Anyway, so I figured I would just say the questions and I might write them down on the bottom if I can figure out how to do that and be super fancy. And yeah, I'm really sorry if this isn't the best video you've ever seen. It's horrible lighting. I have only artificial light in my apartment. It is also nighttime because I've been putting it off all day, so I don't have natural light. I'm looking a little rough as well, so sorry, but this is real. Anyway, let's move on to the question, shall we? So, question number 1. Do I work out more than what BBG calls for? Yes. I guess it sort of involves a little bit more explanation. So, I started BBG July 20th of 2015. And originally I just started only doing exactly what the guide called for. And then I moved states, I think, I don't know, maybe I moved states probably about 3 weeks into it, so pre-training week 3, and then I was like visiting friends and doing a bunch of stuff for the next few weeks, and I moved to England September 5th of last year, I think, September 6th, September 5th, so that was obviously like really hectic and time consuming and stressful. It's sort of, that was when I was at week 5, I think, in the regular guide. So I sort of got off track, and I did week 5, and I redid week 5, and then I did week 6, and I redid week 6, and then I redid week 6, did 7, redid it, 8, redid it, 9, redid it, sort of thing, and I just kept going, and it ended up taking me 21 weeks to do the entire first guide, which is 12 weeks. So I didn't do anything extra, and basically I did less than what was called for because it took me so much longer. So originally I didn't start off doing anything crazy, anything over the top. Then I went to bikini prep, and I switched to completely weight training. I do like Kayla, and I do think it's a really good full body workout. I think obviously it changed my life, as cliche as it sounds, changed my view towards fitness and everything. Great jumping off point. But I needed something more to isolate my muscles and to train a lot harder for the bikini competition, so I switched to just weight training. I was a bit optimistic in thinking that I could do Kayla and weight training as much as I needed to for what my competition called for. And then now I switched sort of to a mix of both. So what I do is I'll talk about this more in my specific workout plan, but basically what I do is I do the BBG weeks. I don't actually do the LISS as it should be, because I really hate walking or doing something for like 40 minutes just at really low intensity, and I find it really boring, and that's, yeah, I don't really like it. So what I do instead, because I really like isolating my muscles as well, so on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do the Kayla workouts, or, you know, like Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, however it falls. And then I do, let's say it's Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do the Kayla workouts. On Tuesday, I will do an upper body or lower body, depending on what I just did the day before, workout that isolates my muscles, and it'll be half of my upper body or half of my lower body. So say I'll do biceps and triceps. and then the next week I'll do chest and shoulders and back or something like that. And then on Thursday I'll do leg day, and I'll do glutes and quads. So then the next week I'll do hamstrings and calves. Those are like really weird splits. I'm just like thinking off the top of my head, but that's what I do. So I don't do an extra full body workout per week. I do an extra full body workout per 2 weeks because I don't want to overtrain, but I do really like isolating my muscles, and I just do like a really small circuit. Sometimes I add like 4 workouts after a Kayla workout. I don't know why I do that. I clearly am a masochist, and I like sore muscles. No, I just sometimes, I don't know, I really want to annihilate my muscles completely to help them grow, I guess. But it's been good. I really like the way I'm training. I'm seeing results right now. So yeah. And then for cardio, on those Tuesday, Thursdays, I add in 20 minutes of Stairmaster either before or after my lift. Just depends really how I'm feeling, what I want to do. So I generally train about 5 days a week. Yep. Okay, so I do, the question, so I do work out more than what BBG calls for now. I didn't when I got started, and I don't think you necessarily have to. I just think that because I went from such an intense form of training, because I went from just an intense form of training, I didn't want to completely just downgrade to the BBG workouts. I wanted to keep up and also because I'm competing again, but I really did want to incorporate Kayla, because I do like the workouts, or incorporate BBG, because I do like the workouts. So I'm finding a way to make it work. So yeah. Question number 2, it sort of goes into what question number 1 sort of talked about. So is BBG the only workout I do regularly? So like I said before, that's what I started with, and currently I do it regularly. I've been keeping up with it, but I do like lifting weights. And as well, I am a rep for Fit Londoners, so I do have really amazing opportunities to go and attend certain fitness events, certain fitness classes, and try them out and try different things that I probably wouldn't try otherwise necessarily. I think it's good to change it up, and don't be afraid, or don't be too stuck to your schedule. Don't be so afraid to break from what you know, because, just because you're like, oh no, I haven't done my arm workout for this week, like, I have to do something that incorporates arms. It doesn't matter, just go have fun, do something with fitness, like, keep sane, don't be like, oh, so regimented. So, yeah, I do try to stick to my BBG schedule, but, like, this past week, I worked in Henley, so I did my workout Monday, Wednesday, and then I didn't go to the gym Friday or Saturday, and then I did sort of a workout this morning. It was so rough, and my arms were dead. And then for some reason I did tricep dips after the entire BBG 23 arm workout, week 23 arm workout, which I don't know why I did that to myself. And yeah, I did it for the Instagram photo is why I did it. Yeah, that's question 2. Question 3, how important is LISS? I think this is a question that I get asked a lot, and I know that I didn't follow the LISS schedule perfectly, especially towards the end. I was sort of definitely doing my resistance trainings, and I wasn't really doing LISS because resistance training took less time, but I mean in the end they actually don't, because it's 28 minutes, but then 30 minutes if you take a minimum 30-second break, and then you set up, put down, stretching. It really does take like 45 minutes, like, and then walking to the gym, walking back, like, basically the same time, but it's more fun for me than walking on a treadmill. Anyway, I am not a certified PT, and while I have read the education in Kayla's guides, and I do know what LISS is meant to achieve for you, I have seen results without following the schedule of doing LISS. That's my personal experience. I know a lot of people that specifically are very strict and only follow the BBG guidelines for working out, and they have also seen incredible results. But I don't want to say anything that I am not educated in, sort of thing. I'm going to read directly from the education section of BBG 1.0. LISS stands for Low Intensity Steady State. This can be used to define exercises such as walking when you stay at the same pace for the entire time. LISS, therefore, is any moderate or long-duration cardiovascular exercise that maintains the same duration throughout. And then there are examples of what you can do to achieve LISS. Additionally, you can choose to perform LISS and resistance training on the same day, but it is important that you perform them as 2 separate sessions. I will say, as personal experience, I never did LISS and a resistance training together, but with my weight training, I have done weights followed directly by a cardio session, or like a HIIT cardio, or treadmill sprints or stuff like that. I still saw progress. Just depends what you want to do. And I do know that some people don't have time to separate them and they do them right after. Obviously, this is recommended. But that's my personal experience. Okay, so additionally, in the education section, which everyone should read, if you have bought BBG and you don't read the entire thing, I don't really know what you're aiming to achieve. Obviously following the guides is good, but yeah, it's like 80 pages, but just read it. Just read it. So this talks about cardio, which burns the most calories per unit of time. Sprinting burns the most calories, then jogging, and finally walking. That's obviously because sprinting is higher intensity. So Kayla's guides, she really likes to change things up, which is why she recommends both doing HIIT and LISS, because it says, over time, how much you train in the style of that training will change. Kayla, believes in progressive overload and varying training protocols to maintain self-motivation and promote ongoing positive change in your body. In regards to cardio training, Kayla, recommend a combination of both walking and sprint training. And finally, so sprinting may burn the most calories, but where does the energy, which is the calories, come from? So like fat versus like sugar, if you're training, sort of thing. In order of most to least, walking burns the most fat. Ooh, what? So sprinting burns the most calories, but walking burns the most fat. So this is why Kayla's guides recommend a mix of both. Basically, she even says, without getting too much into depth, fat requires oxygen in order to be metabolized for energy. The lower the intensity of exercise, the more available oxygen your body has to be used to metabolize energy. This explains why sprinting burns the least fat per calorie, because it is of high intensity and near your anaerobic threshold, which means it's not using any or as much oxygen, and fat is not as easily used for energy. Therefore, you will be using other energy sources such as carbs, which is why people carb load before they do a high weight session or something like that. So, LISS is important. When you're walking at a steady speed and your heart rate isn't as high as it is with the normal BBG resistance trainings, you have more oxygen, which allows you to burn more fat. I personally just don't do LISS. I still see progress. There's nothing in Kayla's guides that say you won't see progress if you don't do it. That's just what she recommends. That's what I did follow for a very long time. And you know what? Sometimes I do LISS sessions. Sometimes I'll just go on the Stairmaster and do it for 45 minutes. It is a little bit more high intensity than regular LISS, but I like it. I like the way it makes me feel. And yep. So, if you want to know the importance of any exercises in her guides, please, 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 I'm just begging all of you to read the education section. Speaking of reading the education and helping everyone, moving on to question 4. Question 4, more of a statement. Someone commented, I can't finish my workout in 28 minutes. Why not? I don't mean this in a rude way. I guess I thought it was obvious. Because all of the little workouts, I have one on my phone. All of the little workouts in the guide say stuff like this. And at the top it says 2 times 7 minutes. Yeah. Can you see? 2 times 7 minutes. So the way the workouts work, it also says this, I don't know, in the intro section, I think, of the guide. What you do is, so I have week 24 Sunday pulled up. So you would do 30 reps, 15 per each side, of medicine ball push-ups. Do that however long it takes you. Sometimes I only get to the third exercise in a circuit. It doesn't matter. Sometimes I get through the circuit twice. I know some people who personally just like to complete each circuit twice. They don't actually even time themselves because they feel really under pressure. I turn the timer on for 7 minutes, which is what you're meant to do per guide, regulation, rule, things, whatever. So you do your first exercise. Doesn't matter how long it takes you. You do the next exercise, which would be decline push-ups, 20 reps. When you're done with that, say it takes you 2 minutes. Who the hell cares? You move on to lay down burpees and you do 20 reps. Then you move on to double pulse box jumps, 20 reps. Say you've only used up 5.5 minutes of your time. Pop it back to the first exercise. You go through the circuit as many times as you can in 7 minutes. If I've misunderstood that, someone please correct me, but I read the entire guide, cover to cover, and I'm 99.9% sure that's how you do it. Then your timer dings, and you're like, oh, thank Jesus, I gotta rest. Give me some water. What's the longest rest time you can take? 1:30? I'm gonna take it. Also, I rest, like, during all these circuits. I would do, like, 10 medicine ball push-ups. Not even. That's being very optimistic. And be like, I'm gonna rest for 30 seconds because I'm dying. So, like, it doesn't matter. Anyway, moving on. Then you go to the pink one, and you set your timer again for 7 minutes. Or if you have the app, the timer is already set, but then you only get 30-second breaks, which I would always pause, because I'm not about that life. So you start doing plyo push-ups, which, by the way, I still don't really know how you're meant to do these. Like, I just did them for the first time last week. I don't know. Anyway, so you do them 20 reps, and then you move on to the second exercise. You do it, all the reps, however long it takes you. Third exercise, do all the reps, however long it takes you. Broad jump burpees, they generally take me a long time. So let's pretend I got halfway through the third exercise. The timer dings, you get a rest. Then you go back to circuit 1, do the same thing, 7 minutes, go through the circuit as many times as you can, ding, timer, take a break, move over to the other one, do it for 7 minutes. 7 times 4 is 28. Let's say you take 30-second rests. 30 minutes. Boom. Your workout should not be taking you more than 28 minutes because it's timed. So, like I said, sometimes I only get to the third exercise in 7 minutes. So, like, if that were the case, and I were to push myself to complete and do the fourth exercise, it would obviously take me more than 7 minutes. You can do that if you want. You can just do 1 round of the circuits each. That's up to you. I just follow what it says to do in the guides. If you're going by what the guides say, just do 7 minutes as many times as you can through the circuit. Continuing on, sort of separate question, basically the same thing. Someone commented or said something along the lines of, like, my workout is never finished in 7 minutes. Or I set my timer for 8 minutes. It doesn't matter. Like, even if you get through 10 reps of the first exercise and it takes you the full 7 minutes, it doesn't matter. Because the way the workouts work in the actual guide, weeks 1 and 3 are the same, weeks 2 and 4 are the same, 5 and 7 are the same, 6 and 8 are the same, and it changes every 4-week block. So say you only get through half of the first exercise, it takes you 7 minutes to do 5 reps. Doesn't matter. Week 3, maybe it'll take you 7 minutes to do 10 reps. You're improving. Like, it doesn't matter. It's you against your body weight, and I guarantee it doesn't matter how much you do. I know girls, at my first meetup, I was next to a girl, and I was like, holy shit, she is so fit. She got through the circuit, like, 5 times in 7 minutes. And I'm over here dying, screaming like, fuck, I can't do a fucking push-up. My arms are like literally like shaking. I'm breaking. I want to cry. I might puke from physical and mental exhaustion. It was literally the day before I moved to England. So I was at week 4, like 40 pounds heavier than I am now, trying to lift myself. This morning, I dropped to push-ups on my knees, let alone 11 months ago. I don't even know. Like, it's ridiculous. It doesn't matter. It's you against you. It's not you against anyone else. No one says you have to finish the circuit 10 times to be fit. You know, it doesn't matter. So just do the workout as much as you can in 7 minutes. There's no need to make it longer. I don't know why you would want to make your workout 8 minutes. That's adding 4 whole minutes onto it. That's more than half of an entire extra circuit, and why? No. Not for me, maybe for you. So, yeah. The workout should take 28 minutes, and the circuit should take 7. Yep. So, just a little quick question, I guess, question 5 or something. In addition to what I was just talking about, I got asked, how many times do you repeat the circuits? It changes every workout, every week, every guide. So obviously the guides get progressively harder. So week 1, I think I never got through the circuits more than once, except for arm and ab days. They were quick. I would generally get through them twice. But then now it just depends. I mean, I think towards week 12, it was a lot harder, and I don't think I really got through. I definitely never completed a circuit fully twice. But then when I started 2.0, like, it always starts with lower reps, so everything's a bit quicker. So obviously I got through the circuits like a couple times. I was like, oh my god, I'm so fit, like, oh, slaying these circuits. Yeah. And then you get to a few weeks later and you die. It doesn't really matter how many times you repeat the circuit. So say, like, obviously, week 24, I was just mentioning it, some of the reps are like 30 reps. Like last week, I think it was, or even today, it's meant to be 150 reps on the jump rope, skipping rope, whatever. In week 1, it's like 50 reps. So obviously 150 is going to take you longer. It doesn't matter if you're fast, like, you can only jump rope so quickly. It's going to take you longer, so obviously it's going to slow your circuit time down. So it really doesn't matter, though, because if you have less reps, you're going to get through the circuit more times, generally. And either way, you're still going to sweat your ass off. Like, let's be honest, it's BBG. Okay, so I'm combining the next 2 questions. They're specifically about moves in the guide. And just moves in general. They're not like anything novel that was created by BBG. The first question is, or statement, I can't do push-ups. Is doing them on my knees okay? Will I still improve if I do them on my knees? Yes. Yeah. I didn't do real push-ups until week 10, which is really week 14 if you include pre-training, which I definitely include because that shit was hard as fuck. Okay. Also, P.S. Sorry, I swear a lot. I'm from Massachusetts. I don't know if that's actually an excuse. I just swear a lot. Sorry, that's me. Anyway, and like I said earlier, this morning I dropped to push-ups on my knees. I was dying. When I was doing commandos, I dropped to commandos on my knees, and they're still hard. You're still lifting your body weight. It's just a bit easier because you don't have to lift below your knees. So it takes a little bit of the weight off. And what I do is, I obviously try and do as many push-ups or whatever, commandos, planking, like, it doesn't matter, whatever. I don't think I've ever done planking on my knees anyway. On, like, all 4s without being on your knees, regular, whatever, as much as I can. And when I feel like I have to drop to my knees, I'll do a few and I'll drop to my knees. And then generally what I do is I'll just stop and I'll take like a 10-second rest. I don't know, I take really long rests. And then I will go and I'll try to do like 3 normal push-ups and drop to my knees again. And then I'll take a rest. Because, I don't know, well, it just depends. Sometimes I'm like, ugh, I'm feeling real weak. I'm just going to make them easier for myself and just do them on my knees. And I'll do that and I'll bang out 10 because they're obviously easier. Or some days I'm like, no, Haley, you are going to do only normal push-ups, and I don't care if you have to take 50 breaks, you will not drop to your knees, you're a badass, you got this. So, sometimes, like, the inner Haley motivation just depends, and it dictates what I do. But, yes, you will improve if you do them on your knees. I improved, and now I still sometimes have to drop to my knees. It doesn't matter. You will improve. You're still doing something. Trust me, it still burns. Do 50 push-ups on your knees and tell me it doesn't hurt. You will still improve. The next question about another move. I'm sure all of our favorite move. Burpees. So someone said, burpees are very difficult for me. And you said, they're referencing me, in a Snapchat. If you want to check out my Snapchat, it's haileybetts. I'll put the link below, or the username, whatever. Anyway, so they said burpees are very difficult for me, and you said in your snap that form is more important than quantity. So, are there alternatives to burpees? Right. Burpees suck. I don't care. Some people are like, oh my god, I've learned to love burpees. Like, they've given me all these new muscles. No, burpees suck. Okay? They suck. Broad jump burpees, regular burpees, drop, push-up, tuck jump, bench hop, burpees, no. No one likes burpees. And I remember being with my best friend Beth when I was on like week 6 of BBG, and I was visiting South Carolina after I moved to Tennessee, and I could literally only do 2 burpees at a time, and I looked over at her, and I remember being like, how the fuck can you do so many burpees in a row? And she was like, I just want to get them over and done with. And I was like, I can't even do more than 2 at a time. So burpees are definitely difficult. I would suggest, number 1, just starting off, doing what you can. They are hard. I do still obviously agree with what I said. I do think that form is more important than quantity, because I think that a lot of times, and I mentioned it a lot in my Snapchat, I'll just use the tricep example. You'll see people in the gym. Please look out for them, because it is hilarious when you see them. I feel bad if you are someone who does this. Please get help. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, please stop doing this. It's not just, you're doing nothing for yourself. You'll see people in the gym, on the cable machine or something, and with the rope, and they'll be doing tricep cable pull downs. And you're meant to, keep your arms close, and you're meant to just, I'm sitting on my bed, so it's kind of hard. But you're meant to, just, okay. So you're meant to just do this and flex out. Look, it uses your tricep. And then some people are just, doing this, and it's, going crazy. And, number 1, my tricep, you couldn't even see it at that point. And, you're using your biceps, and they just, go crazy, and they have no control over their form. You're not working the muscle group it's intended to work. You're just hurting yourself. The same thing with burpees. I've seen so many people do burpees, and you start sort of, if your body is a ball, you start, and then you go flat, and then you jump back, and you jump up. I see some people, and they start in the ball, and then they do this, and I'm like, what are you doing? And then they hop back into a ball. You have not done a burpee. You have done some weird form of sort of you trying to go down. Your body should be in a plank format, a push-up format, anything, when you go from a ball to a flat. And so if this is how you do a plank or a push-up, you're also doing those wrong. I'm not a PT, but that's wrong. Maybe you like doing weird feet, I don't know. That isn't going to help you. It's actually fucking up your core, your back, your legs, and you're not utilizing the muscles you're meant to be utilizing, and the ones you are utilizing are wrong, and you're going to hurt yourself, and you're using them in the wrong way. So I definitely think form is highly important, and if you do 50 of these push-ups, or planking, let's go with planking. You're meant to obviously be here, you know, and like your butt is sort of meant to be a little bit more in the air than your stomach. It's meant to dip a little bit. But you see like some people and their stomach is touching the ground, or their butt is like super in the air like this. No. I like to watch myself in the mirror when I do planks. And when you plank for a long period of time, your form does fail, sort of thing. That's how you know that that's your plank limit or whatever. So I do think like watching yourself is a really good, if you go into like a studio at your gym, you know, and watch yourself, because sometimes I'll even be doing push-ups and I look over and I'm like, oh shit, my butt is really high in the air, like lower that. And I understand that when you're tired and stuff, your form can get worse. But just make sure that your form, like I always research form if I've never done an exercise, or practice the move a couple times first to make sure I have my form right, because there's no point in doing it wrong. Like, I feel like this is very self-explanatory. There's no point in doing it wrong. And I know people say, like, the only workout you'll regret is the one you didn't do. Well, I would definitely regret a workout if I did it all wrong. If you do one burpee correctly, it's going to be more effective for the right muscles than if you do 10 wrong. That's not scientifically proven or anything, you know, maybe you'll work some other random muscles, but that's what I believe, and that's what I try to follow. So I go slow in my workouts. I go slow in my squats. I make sure they're controlled. I do everything controlled, or I try to, which is why I take a lot of breaks as well, because I don't want to be doing really wobbly commandos where my hips are just swaying and swaying. I'd rather take a break and do them nice and evenly, sort of thing. So, ran off on a tangent there. If burpees are difficult for you, I know for me, I've seen a lot of people, so you go down and then you jump your feet back. If you can't do the jumping your feet back, step one foot back, step another back, and then step them back in and jump up. Get used to the motion. Eventually you will jump back. Obviously try to jump back as much as you can. I don't have alternatives for burpees. I'm not a PT. I do know a lot of workouts. I guess another jumping workout, what you could do is you could just like, I don't know. If you want to try and stay close to what a burpee is, you could try and do like a plank for 2 seconds or something, and then hop back like a snap jump and jump into the air. Or you could just do like a plank for 5 seconds and then jump, plank for 5 seconds, then jump. But you wouldn't really hold it that long. But you'd have to do like straight arm planks, because that's what you would do for burpees. Really, it just depends. Like, I mean, if you can't do it, I would recommend Googling exercises, or maybe picking an exercise, a different exercise that you like from the glossary of workouts and putting it in. I mean, there's no official rule book. Like, you know, you have this guide and you can do with it what you will. You can follow it or you don't have to. You can sort of make it your own. I mean, I know when I was at the gym when I first moved to London, I had a PT help personalize the BBG for me. My core was not as strong as I would have liked it to be. And I found a lot of the ab workouts too challenging, or at least I told myself they were too challenging. I told myself I couldn't do them. And I used the PT to help find intermediate workouts that I felt like could be better and could help train my core more effectively at the time. And obviously the guide is amazing, but it is generalized, and Kayla has even said it's generalized. You know, it's not as personalized a guide as you would get if you paid a PT to make a guide just for you. And that's completely fine. I mean, she's reached millions of women, and that's good. I mean, but, you know, if you want to find an alternative workout, find one. Basically, like, burpees sort of use everything. They use your legs, they use your arms, they use your butt, they use your abs because of the planking and stuff. So just find another full body exercise. Sorry, I don't know if that was a really good answer or not. Yeah. But the moral of the story is that if you can't do something, either use the alternatives, because I know for like, say you can't do push-ups correctly or something, drop to your knees. It's better than not doing them, and it's better than doing them wrong. BBG has a lot of alternatives if you can't do something. But if you can't do an exercise correctly, please, one, seek help with your form. I've learned to be completely shameless in the gym. I've gone up to so many people and been like, I can't do this. Can you show me a different way? Or, we don't have this machine. How else can I do this? How else can I utilize these muscles? And you just have to sort of adapt. I mean, you have to like ask questions and be willing to learn and be willing to have someone criticize you. I've literally just had someone, and now I've gotten to the point where I'm helping others, and I'm like, if you drop your butt lower, you're actually working the muscles you're meant to versus not. Or like when people are rowing, I saw this woman rowing today. She was pulling it like into her stomach, and I just went up and I was like, hey, the rowing machine's actually really good for your back. And if you want to really utilize your back, you can pull to here. And it's like a lot more helpful when you do that. You just have to be willing to be criticized. I do stuff wrong. I'm just willing to try and make sure that I don't. So, form over quantity. That's my motto. Form over quantity. Another quick question that has to do with the setup of the guides, I think, was, do you do all the workouts in one day, 3 times a week, or just one a day? Oh my god, just one a day. If I had to do all 3 workouts in one day, I would actually die. There's no way. Like, I've had to change my workout schedule a few times, and I had to do my workouts like Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and I already was like, no, I don't want to do it. I think now, obviously, my training schedule is a bit different, and I do work out 5 days consecutively, but I would not recommend that to people just starting. I didn't do that when I was just starting. I think having that rest day and doing the LISS as well, doing the LISS as well, number one, it helps to stretch out your muscles. I always felt so much better after I did LISS. But yeah, no, you do, so say you have a leg, arm, and ab workout. You do legs on Monday, abs on Wednesday, and arms on Friday. Please don't try and do them all in one day. If you want to live that life, you can do that. I suffer enough in one workout. One workout per day, 3 times a week. And that is enough for me. Moving on, last 2 questions. It's about props, or what are they called? Gym equipment? Props. Anyway, someone asked, can a stepper be used instead of a bench? So I have a really weird rule for what I do when I need to use gym equipment. So, a stepper can be used instead of a bench. Maybe. So, this is so weird. So what I do is I look at the guides. So say for like knee ups or step ups, I wouldn't use a stepper. I don't think it goes as high. If you want it to be a little bit easier, you can use a stepper, because you won't have to go as high, so it'll definitely be easier. But I would try and find the correct item. So basically what I do is, in the guide, there's always a photo of Kayla doing the exercise. And so when she has a stepper, or when she has a bench, like when she does knee ups or something, I'll look and she'll have like the first position, and then she'll have the arrow, and it goes into the second position and something. And so I will look where the like bench or stepper is in relation to her knee. And I will see like how close it is to her knee, and I will find something that is a similar distance to my knee. So it's proportional. Yeah, so that's what I do. yeah, so that's my rule. Just see where it hits on her leg, and that's what I do. But try and find the correct items. I mean, obviously, if you can't, like, definitely use a stepper instead of a bench if it means that you're not even going to do the exercise. Like, find a way to make it work, sort of thing. But yeah. Dun, 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 dun. The last question. So, what weights do you use in BBG? I'm so weak. I mean, I'm not weak, but when you're doing the HIIT workouts, they're hard. Okay, so I guess it depends. So when I first started, I used the lowest weight for everything, and I walked, like, for LISS at the lowest speed. I'm not about that increasing speed life. When I started doing HIIT, which came into play, like, I think the last 4 weeks, weeks 9 through 12, I started at the lowest speed, and it was actually a lot easier than I expected. So I increased by like 0.5 km every time I did it. Yeah. But now, after I've done bikini training and stuff, I know that I like using heavy weights, and I know that I can. So now it just depends. So, like, some days when I'm doing 2.0 right now. So some days when I have to do deadlifts, it'll say like 10 to 20 kg max for the weights. I use 35. It takes longer, but that's what I want to do. I do a mixture. Like, for jump lunges, I'll use 3 kg, which I think is the minimum because they're hard. For deadlifts, I'll use 35 kg. For barbell squats, I'll use 40. I've maxed out a 75 kg squat, so I know I can do heavier. And I just like to push myself and challenge myself in different ways. And 1 week I'll use 40 kg for a squat. The next week I'll use 20. I'll be like, I'm going to change it up. I'm going to make it easier. I want to get through the circuit more. It just doesn't matter. In addition to that question, it was stated, I want to keep progressing. Does that mean I need to keep increasing? I don't necessarily think that's the case. So my original plan was to do 1.0 using the lowest weights. And then I was going to do 1.0 a second time using the lowest weights and seeing how much I increased my speed through the circuits. Obviously, if I went back to 1.0 week 1 right now, I would get through the circuits probably 4 to 5 times because you use such light weight and such low reps that you're bound to get through it faster. You've built up muscle, whatever. It doesn't mean if I did that, I wouldn't improve because I'm using my own body weight to get through the circuits. So it's still going to be just as hard, if not harder actually, because I'm stronger and I'm more muscle, than it was before. Like, say I got through it once, but I struggled. I'm still pushing my body weight, and now I'm getting through it 5 times. I'm going through it more because I'm stronger, but I'm still going through it more, so it's still pushing me. So I think you could definitely progress without increasing weights. I think if you feel like you're not being challenged, then you should increase your weights, or yeah. I've personally always felt challenged with the guides. But then again, I've done very different things. I've made it more unique to me, so I use weights that aren't allocated from the guides. Or sometimes when there's not even weights added, I'll use a weight. It just depends. I always say give something 4 weeks. For working out, I definitely think give your all for 4 weeks. So say you want to see if it will help you progress. Just then maybe try the lowest weights for 4 weeks. Look at your photos, and then maybe try increasing your weights. The thing is with progress, it's weird. It's going to happen either way. If you're putting in effort, it's going to happen. So if you then increase your weights, you're still doing what you were doing before, you're just doing more, so obviously you're going to progress. And I think Kayla's guides really mix it up to the point that your muscles wouldn't get used to it, as some people say anyway. So I don't necessarily think that you have to increase your weights to see progress. It is a good indicator of strength, especially with just weight training. I literally keep notes on my phone of every single weight I do. I write down, I'm like, okay, I meant to do 4 sets of this. Set number 1, I did 5 reps with 5 kg, failed at 6. And then the next week I'll look back and I'll be like, okay, well, I failed using 5 kg, I'm going to try again. And then I'll be like, okay, failed doing 7 reps. So obviously I'm getting stronger. Like, I'll just keep notes like that. So maybe just do that. Be like, oh, week 1, I got through the circuit 2.5 times. And then when you get to week 3, you're like, oh my god, I got through the circuit 3 times. Like, what? I'm killing it. So it just depends, you know. I don't think you have to see. I don't think you have to increase. I don't think you have to increase to see progress. I think you can and you will see progress from it. Just depends on what you want to do. Oh, okay. So my BBG questions are done. It has taken me an hour to film this. I don't even know how long it's going to take to edit and cut all this together. I know it's going to be super long because I've been watching the times for the videos pop up on my photo booth on my Mac. I'm really sorry if this is such a shit video. I will try and get better in the future. And please leave your commentary. Obviously, I appreciate criticism. I will take it in good measure. Sorry about my voice, by the way. I lose my voice so easily. And if you have any more questions related to BBG, I will answer them as best as I can. You can put them below. You can put them on my Insta. You can message me. I'm going to be linking my Facebook page, my Insta, and my Snap below. If you want it to be private, just send it to me privately. Doesn't really matter to me. I don't write people's names when I'm answering the questions. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope for all the people that asked questions and for all the people that were silently thinking them, because I know I've been there. I always think a question, I never have the balls to ask or something sort of thing. I hope that it answered them. I will be filming the diet/supplement questions, the regular workout questions, and the personal and miscellaneous ones later this week. But I hope you enjoyed. Subscribe to my new channel. Welcome to my YouTube. If you want to see more, and comment what else you want to see. These are just the Q&A videos that I have prepared. If you guys want to see like a full new workout, let me know. If you guys want to see me sweating my ass off doing BBG, let me know. You know, what do you guys want to see? Yeah. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks. Bye. What was it? So when did I move states? September? That's when I moved to England. Awkward. Yeah, so that's what I do because I just really just dislike cardio. I want to like it. I can't. Maybe one day. Never say never, right? So I'm just going to read directly from, can you see this? Can you? I don't know why it's not. Here, wait. Okay. So, LISS is important. When you walk at a... Speaking of reading the other... Clearly, this one, the blue circuit 1 or whatever color it is in your book. And I was like, what? 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 No. Well, I will say the benefit of filming this video is that I'm drinking a shit ton of water. Moving on. Not going too well with my diet situation, is it?